Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, EXP family and real estate industry friends. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to our Level Up live stream. So excited to be with you all. My name is Kirtus Dixon, Senior Vice President of Agent Development here with eXp Realty, and we are on a mission to help you level up your life and your business, regardless of your experience level, regardless of what brokerage you might be a part of. We are happy to help you on your journey. There's a tremendous opportunity that exists right now in the real estate industry, and I challenge you every single time we get together to reframe your thinking, to adjust your perspective, and recognize that there's huge opportunity that exists right now in your local real estate market. So every single Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we are going to bring you a live stream live on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, and we're going to bring it right to you in our eXp World Metaverse Auditorium. Good morning, Angela. Every time I look this way, that's my Metaverse Auditorium screen. Every time I'm over here, I'm talking to you live on YouTube. But wherever you are, thanks for making us a part of your day, everybody. We have an amazing day in store for you. The first 15 minutes or so of every Level Up live stream, we're just going to give you some thinking opportunities, some prompts, some calls to action. We're going to get your wheels turning. And then for today, what you have is we have our agent stand-up, which happens at the 45-minute mark. And that's a little bit of accountability and some, we call it 5 minutes of fire, some inspiration, motivation, and guidance from a top producing real estate leader here in the eXp family. Then today's conversation, we're joined by two top producing brothers that actually lead an amazing real estate team. And they're going to talk to you about driving your business relationships up, increasing your client base, building up your success as a producing agent, regardless of experience, everybody. Cousins, my bad. Cousins, not brothers. Thanks to our producer backstage. That is Nate and Austin Cheviron coming up at the top of the hour, everybody. So grab a pen and paper. I see everybody chatting in the chat box here. Thank you, Charles, for the message live in the metaverse. We are going to dive right in. So today, what's kind of on my mind and my head and heart is we call this Wealth Wednesday. And I don't want this to be confused as, we're just talking about sort of financial wealth, or if you're at the beginning of your wealth creation journey, or you're the first person in your family to be focused on creating a financial legacy for your kids and kids' futures. I don't want you to think this Wednesday show isn't for you. It's absolutely for you. The training and the knowledge and the content, wherever you're at in your journey, wealth can exist in a variety of areas in your life, right? We could be talking about financial wealth. We could be talking about health. We could be talking about business abundance. We could be talking about prosperity. We could be talking about confidence, right? There's a lot of variations of what wealth and success feels like. And today I'm focused on value. So give me a yes or comment in the chat box if you've ever heard the idea or the concept that as a real estate entrepreneur, your financial abundance, your peace of mind, right? Your business is directly tied to how much value you add to other people's lives. I know as a practicing agent for many years, that's 100% true. And it really also is true relative to your finances. The way you're going to earn more income, the way you're going to get repeat business, the way you're going to get referrals in this industry is by adding more value to people's lives. So I wrote down my kind of recipe and formula today for adding value. And I'm going to give it to you sort of two ways. It's the same information, but it just might resonate with one person a little differently delivered one way, and then it makes sense to another person delivered the other way. So the first way I'm going to explain it is, we all know we're the hero in our story, right? I hope you know life isn't happening to you. It's happening for you. Things are unfolding around you based on how you show up in the world, right? So you're the hero in the middle of your own story. And at the checkpoint of this story, some point in the future, maybe it's very near for you, 6 months, 12 months, or maybe it's 10 years down the road, there's this amazing feeling of success, what your life feels like when you've accomplished what you want to accomplish, you've created what you want to create, you've become the person you want to become. But we also know what failure looks like, right? Failure looks like not realizing that potential, not achieving that big dream, not getting to that version of your life that you're building towards. And I'm not going to accept that for any one of you. I'm not going to accept that failure. I'm going to push you as the hero to recognize that there's three identities you're going to need to grab onto or carry with you, or maybe like be able to put on, that are going to help you add massive value to people's lives. Massive value is going to come, number one, from your student identity. As a student of real estate and business ownership, What are you studying? What are you learning? How often? And is it the right stuff to be studying and to be learning as a student? So I'm going to give you a couple examples today of what I think you should be studying right now in this amazing market with this unique opportunity. I think you should be studying the trends and information that impact, number one, renters. So let's throw this rental graphic up and I'll tell you where I got it. So one of my favorite websites to research and read, I'm a student also all the time, is called Keeping Current Matters. Write that down, Google it. And Keeping Current Matters is a paid subscription, but you don't have to do the paid subscription. I went to the free blog today before this call, keepingcurrentmatters.com. Keeping Current Matters is just this wealth of real estate knowledge and information and ideas. And if you do subscribe, you're going to get gold. But even without subscribing, it's free. You can just go to the blog. And so I was Googling today, what's on Keeping Current Matters blog? And there was this infographic and a whole blog post and everything about it. And it's about, should I rent or should I buy? As a student of the real estate game right now, think about how many renters are out there in your market. And what you might not have considered yet is they're all asking the question, should I be planning to buy as soon as my lease is up? Well, guess when a lot of leases start to come up and end and renew, right? It depends on what's going on in your market. There's a summertime, there's a fall and winter time, there's a springtime. So there's a bunch of rental leases that are going to come up and people are asking right now, should I renew my lease in January or should I buy a home? Should I renew my lease next summer or should I buy a home? They're asking these questions. So as a student right now, you should be learning the difference between owning a home versus renting. You should be learning the ability to buy a home and what that buying power looks like and takes. You should be learning how this becomes a great investment for a long-term renter. It's just an example of a conversation where you should be a student. And then you can drop this graphic here again. I recommend you go check out Keeping Current Matters. And then the next persona you need to wear is you need to be an explorer. And I'm a father of 3, so I can remember when my kids were watching like the Dora the Explorer, right? They're running around, exploring the world, checking things out, having fun, getting into crazy situations, right? And what I mean by being an explorer is in every conversation with people, especially your clients, your database, your friends and family, your sphere of influence, but in any conversation, an explorer is listening and looking for opportunities to add value. Listening and looking for opportunities to add value. So you're going to be in a conversation, standing around at the gym or hanging out at the, kiddos football game or something, and somebody's going to ask you a question. And if you listen really closely, there's an opportunity there for you to add some value. Oh, you know what? I was just reading a blog post about renting versus buying. It is strange that people don't understand that a buyer is investing in their own asset, whereas a renter is investing in someone else's asset. Did you know that I checked out that, one of my friends has spent like $95,000 on rent over the last 6 years. That's crazy, right? They could have $95,000 in equity in a home right now. And just that preparation, because you were a student a couple days ago, and then you were an explorer today, creates an opportunity for you to now get a referral and get connected to their friend or family member that's been stuck in a rental, right? So that student persona, that explorer persona, the explorer is always listening and looking for opportunity. And I'm just giving you kind of one concrete example relative to the real estate knowledge I threw up on the screen today, but there's all kinds of areas where if you're a student and you're learning, you get to become, when the opportunity presents itself, that third persona, which is a leader. So we've got a student who seeks knowledge, looks for information, is constantly questing to be informed. Then we've got the explorer that's always listening and looking for opportunity. And last but not least is that leader. And I've started with those first two personas because I think oftentimes as an entrepreneur, as a real estate entrepreneur, I've done it myself many times, we jump to the transaction. We jump to their home search. We jump to the listing appointment, because we want to lead and we want to get out there and we want to get that relationship, but we forget to do the other two. So we're not positioned to add any more value than any other real estate entrepreneur they're encountering. But if you do those first two, you're ready to add more value. When you ask more questions and you understand their needs and opportunities better, you're more positioned. When you've been a student every day of the week and you've been researching, let's throw up that next graphic, Randy. If you've been researching the market, you've been paying attention to interest rates, you have an idea of how much equity these homeowners have in their home, in the zip codes that you've been researching daily in MLS, now you're better positioned to be an amazing leader. So did you know, this is a great fact, statistic, again, same free blog, Keeping Current Matters. Did you know that most homeowners in our country have gained $64,000 of equity in their home in the last 12 months? That's crazy. What person wouldn't be kind of interested to know if they've got 60, 100, a couple hundred grand that they could put in their bank, spend less than half of it on their next home, and be in the next home? How many people do you have in your life that are maybe over the age of 60 that might have hundreds of thousands of dollars in equity, and they're looking to downsize, downgrade, get into a smaller home, put those 200 or 300K in the bank? Those are the kind of conversations that leaders are ready to have. And as a leader, the number one skill I challenge you to develop today is your skill of communication, your ability to listen, respond, and add value. Listen, respond, and add value. Now, that communication skill, you might ask me, like, Curtis, where do I get it? How do I develop it? I'm reading books. I'm watching videos. That's awesome. That's the student persona. Good for you, student. Let's go. Now, you got to at least move on to the explorer persona. Where is one opportunity today where you could get some practice? One opportunity today you could go have that rent versus buy conversation. One opportunity today you could talk about equity in a home for a homeowner. One opportunity today to talk about interest rates. One opportunity today to talk about the changing buying market conditions. We're no longer in multiple offer situations. We have more inventory than has been available. Somebody that looked 6 months ago and then buried their head in the sand and hasn't thought about buying or selling again would be blown away by what's going on today in the real estate market, right? So my guy, Jeff Ruby, just accepted the challenge. He's going to go find one opportunity. That's my tip to every single one of you listening to this right now. Before we get into the rest of today's solid gold content, go find one opportunity at a minimum today to practice that conversation, to practice the communication skills that leader persona needs to develop. That's the number one thing, everybody, that you should be doing every single day, is having conversations with people, because that skill is going to build and build and build over time. And you're going to, because you're having consistent conversations, you're going to find those opportunities, right? Someone that you're talking to today, I've gone through this probably 1,000 times. Someone that you're talking to today isn't telling you something about their buying or selling needs. They're not telling you something. There's something they're not telling you. There's a why that they don't feel comfortable enough yet telling you. There's a timeline that they don't feel comfortable with you enough yet to tell you. There's something going on in their world that they haven't told you. And if you don't come with that explorer persona, you're not going to find that why. You're not going to find out that they're actually really planning to retire in 12 months and they haven't told you yet that they're planning to upgrade or downgrade their home. They're actually planning to move out of this rental. They're saving up money every day, but they haven't told you that they've got that 3.5% down payment saved up yet, because they're not sure yet if you're the right leader for them. You need to put on the explorer hat and you need to show up as a great student. So I challenge you today, throughout the rest of this Wealth Wednesday Level Up, and every time you watch any of these videos or the live stream, make sure you put on that student hat. Take some good notes. Listen, grab that fact, take down that process, and be ready, willing, and open to all opportunities that exist, because you're in constant conversation with everybody on a daily basis. That is your welcome to our Level Up live stream, everybody. Happy Wealth Wednesday. As I mentioned at the beginning of the hour, we've got a great day in store for you. We're going to kick off what we call our agent stand-up, get you some accountability, some inspiration, and then we're going to bring on two top producing real estate leaders, cousins, Austin Cheviron and Nate Cheviron. And then Candice, Garcia, and I will be back at the end to preview what's coming up in September's Level Up live stream. Thanks, everybody. Alyssa, Specht, welcome and good morning.
Good morning, EXP family. How's it going? Thank you, Curtis Dixon. He always starts us off with just fire. It gets me going to introduce you and bring you to the new agent stand-up. My name is Alyssa Specht with EXP University, and this is your 3 times a week dose of accountability. This is your chance to leverage the community that is around you. Whether you're watching right now and you are an EXP agent or you're not, if you are watching this right now, we are here to elevate the industry. So if you've been here before, welcome back. Good to see you, and congratulations to you for making yourself and your business a priority. I hope that we are giving you the accountability that you need. Now, if you are new here, maybe joining us in World or maybe on YouTube for the very first time, I want to, number one, just welcome you. I want to start with a little bit of orientation. So this is the Agent Stand-Up, and I'm going to welcome you here no matter what your experience level. This is the place to get your mindset right, kick off your day with momentum. This is a place for you to come and make a promise to yourself for your business. And it is a place for you to speak your commitment out loud. So in our stand-up, we've got just 15 minutes. So we pack it in, guys. We start off by giving you 5 minutes of orientation, give you some resources. I always like to give you a little bit of a message of my own. And in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to ask of you to make those commitments for your business. And as always, in the last 5 minutes, we are going to give you 5 minutes of fire. So we bring in an amazing icon agent, an influencer, someone who's going to help you jumpstart your day and go fulfill those promises that you made to yourself. So I would like to kick it off, like I said, with a little bit of a message of my own. And today, I get maybe a little bit vulnerable with you and be really honest with you. So I recently sat down to, evaluate my business, evaluate my plans, and I found a hole. I found an opportunity. So recently, my husband and I we were talking about something, and it made me think of something I heard on this podcast. And it was actually an episode of Lightwork. If y'all haven't heard it, it is a weekly live podcast with Kirtus Dixon. It's amazing. It's inspiring, and honestly, it's truly a gift. It's a gift. But the episode that I pulled up and I wanted to show my husband featured a guest. And you guys might know her. Her name is Sherry Swift. She's a powerhouse, just truly an inspiration. And we're watching it, and I said to my husband, I was just thinking, wow, she's a really good, she's an amazing speaker. What do you think it is? Why is she, what makes it so good? And he was like, well, number one, she's got a really good story, but mostly it just seems like her authenticity. And for some reason, I just stopped in my tracks. It felt like that forced me to get really introspective. I thought about, my own speaking, my own business. And I thought, wow, am I bringing that authenticity to what I'm putting out there? And am I bringing it to my clients? And I really had to dig deep on that one, guys. And you might be watching right now and thinking about why are we even talking about authenticity? And the reason is because being authentic allows you to grow deep relationships, sincerely, genuine, deep relationships. And relationships are everything in this business. We recently had a guest on the show. Her name is Adrienne Carlton. And man, you guys, there was just something about her. She came on, she was so genuine. And it was just, it was so genuine. She talked about how when she was first starting off, things were tough. Things were tough for her. And she was feeling like she had to fit into a mold, and things were just, tough. And after some time, she had to bring herself into her business. And she did. And in fact, so when we had her on last time, she talked about how she was a performer and a really creative person. And she brought that into her business. She even started breakdancing in her listing videos, really letting her personality shine through. And that resonated with people, and it grew her business. And honestly, guys, watching her was like an inspiration to me. She glows. That lady glows. She's got it. She showed up authentically. And, it's interesting because, number one, she was so authentic that I am. I'm talking about her again. And number two, if I knew someone who was moving to her market, I'd send them straight to her. So if y'all are interested, go back. I think that was on the August 15th video in the Level Up playlist. It's fire, you guys. It was amazing. So all of this is to say, are you being authentic in your business? And I bet for a good amount of us out there, part of the reason that we got into real estate is because we didn't fit into the mold of the 9 to 5, or we didn't want that. So what are you doing to be authentic to yourself? What are you doing to be authentic to yourself? How are you sharing that authentic self with others? We're in a really interesting time in social media, in my opinion, and you're going to hear some really good stuff coming up, but we're in a really interesting time, a time where authenticity, in my opinion, that's going to be the winner. I think, look at TikTok right now, and why it's so huge, because it's a platform that embraces authenticity. It moves past that highly curated image that everybody puts out about that perfect life. And everybody, we see through it now, we know. So I dare you to be yourself. I dare you. See what happens. See what happens. And you never know what parts of you are going to resonate with your existing or new clients. This is your opportunity to stand out above the rest. So guys, it is time, before actually we share our commitments to our business, I want to hold this space to check in with last week's commitments or even Monday's commitments. So if you were here in any of our sessions and you made a commitment to yourself, I want you to let us know in the chat if you fulfilled that. Let us congratulate you, or help you. Okay, if you made a commitment in the chat previously and you were struggling with it, just you don't know how to fulfill that, how to move past it, let us know. We have a bunch of people watching right now in the EXP metaverse on YouTube, and I guarantee you that someone can offer you a resource, a tactic, a fresh perspective. So let us know in the chat, and I'll come back in the chat and try to give any resources after this. And once you have done that, I'm going to invite you to put your new commitments in the chat, your new promises to yourself for your business. I'm inviting you right now to speak your commitment out loud. What are you going to do today or this week? What are you going to do this week to push your business forward? And I always like to give you some different prompts to help you. So for my brand new agents out there, have you completed a business plan? That would be a good one. For my experienced agents, when's the last time that you reviewed your business plan? So keep them coming in the chat, guys. I'm going to give you a few more prompts. What content are you creating? When are you going to create that content that's been simmering around in your head? You've been meaning to do it. Is this the time that you finally make the commitment to make that video that shows your authentic self? Imagine this. You make that commitment to yourself to do an authentic video, and that allows you to build a connection. And with the connection comes a conversation, and conversations create clients. So when are you going to do it? By when? I'm checking in the chat. Yep, I want to see a few more. Hey, my friend Adrian's in the chat. I just had to talk about you again. I'm a big fan. All right, guys. So put those in the chat. But right now, after you've made those commitments, we'd like to send you away with a little bit of fire, a little bit of motivation. So you've got the fire to go fulfill those promises. So it is my honor to bring on our next guest to give you that fire. Please welcome Leta Hyche.
Hey, how are you?
Good. Take it away. Take it away, Leta. Give them fire.
Yes. Good morning. Good morning. I'm here to share with you 5 minutes of fire. And at first I was going to come with some motivation and some inspiration, but I decided to share with you instead something to give yourself some momentum. I'd love for you today to do a few things that's going to immediately help you start to increase your visibility and increase your sphere of influence on and off social media. So the first thing I'd encourage you to do is update your phone contact information. How you show up in people's phone. I want you to make sure your name is there. I want you to make sure that, realtor, real estate agent, broker, or whatever it is you want folks to identify you as is there. I want you to also have your website, your email address, but also your social media handles. So whether it be IG or TikTok or whatever it is that you're shining on, make sure that folks have that access to that information and be intentional about sharing that content card. So another thing I'd love you to do is update your signature on your email. Your email, of course, is going to be typically with folks that you're doing business with. It could be your kid's school. If you're still working, maybe it's your job, but also have a signature that includes who it is that you are and what it is that you do, who it is that you serve, and also add your social media handles. I'm going to keep bringing that up because I think that social media is a phenomenal way for you to continue to show up on people's timelines, continue to touch folks, continue to remind people that you're a real estate agent without having to always remind people that you're a real estate agent. So now that we're directing folks from your phone and your text to your social media, and we're directing people from your email to your social media, I'd love you to also now start to show up on your social media. Show up as yourself. You don't always have to post about real estate. Post about things that you do, things that you love, the way that you dress, if you're a sneakerhead, whatever it is, because you want to make sure that you're connecting with people for ways outside of real estate. You never know when somebody's going to be ready to buy or sell, but they're already interested in the things that you're interested in. They're already your people. So be intentional about making those connections and making sure that these folks know who you are and who you serve if ever they decide that they're ready to buy or sell, or if ever they find out that there's somebody else that they know is ready to buy or sell. I also want you to be intentional about sharing who it is and who you do and what it is that you do on social media. So when you're writing your caption, even if you're walking your dog, if you're doing showings, no matter what you're doing, include your name, that you're a real estate agent, that you serve this state and that state, but that also you can refer people to help to other agents nationwide. That's huge. And the reason is you're going to connect with so many people on social media. They may not always be in your market, but they may know someone who's ready to buy or sell. And you need to let them know to come to you when they're ready, regardless of where they're searching, so that you can start collecting those referral fees. So I'm challenging you today to spend a few moments to update your contact card for your phone, update your email signature, update your IG, make sure that you create a caption that you can use, hashtags, engaging, and making real connections with folks so that you can start growing your visibility in your sphere of influence on and off social media. And if you do these things, you make a post today, tag me, share it to my IG. It's @LiveLoveList. I'd love to like it and share your content as well. I hope you guys have an amazing day.
Leta, that was amazing. That was amazing. I'm fired up. I'm pretty sure everybody else is. And I'm sure that they are. I mean, I feel like I've got really clear steps about what I could do today. So thank you so much for being on.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Whew. Guys, that was amazing. And so take those tips. You've got actionable things right now, so you can go and do those things today. So as we wrap up, I've got some calls to action for you. Number one, if you are watching in world, we're going to throw a survey in the chat. I want you to go ahead and fill that out. Let us know, give us some feedback. We want to make sure that we're always giving you value. Number two, if you are watching on YouTube, I want you to make sure that you are followed and liked and subscribed. Get that notification bell going because we're coming up Friday and you do not want to miss that. And number three, your last call to action is I want you to stick around because we are not done. We have a lot more coming up, and I promise it's going to be some more fire. So our next speakers are going to tie everything together, everything that we've discussed this past month, and how you can level up your production right now with the legendary Austin Cheviron and Nate Cheviron. And they're going to be discussing big business through big impact, the Cheviron way. So take it away, guys.
I am Austin Cheviron, and this is my business partner and cousin, Nate Cheviron.
Happy to be here.
Today, we are going to take you down the wonderful world of production with how we've been able to produce as individuals and then as a team. So we wanted to hit you two different ways. And hopefully, if you stay with us for all 45 minutes here, you'll receive an enormous amount of value. You'll find our systems and our processes along the way. You'll understand our mindset on why and how we do things. And if you're done, you will have a complete blueprint, 12 different topics for individuals and 6 for teams to give you the course on how to achieve higher production. And so I would like to start with Nate. I'm going to start with your background if we can.
Yeah, so Nate Cheviron, CEO, co-team lead of the Cheviron Group here in Northern Indiana. I am newer to real estate. I've only been in for almost 3 years now. About a decade prior to that, I was in a sales leadership role at one of the nation's largest recruiting and consulting companies. And so heavy background in sales, heavy background in recruiting, very good at, and I would call myself an expert as it relates to teams, how to build them, start them, and grow them. And so that's what I've kind of taken a lot of tools from the past and implemented them into our team in real estate. And so we'll dive into some of those details here later on as it relates to performance and productivity from a team's perspective.
Do you guys see why I brought him on? So my background, 30 plus years being around real estate. So I'll give you a hint. My father was a real estate agent. Nate grew up in that world too.
Yep.
And so 30 plus years being around this industry, I realized after college of doing so well, I didn't have too many options on what I could do. And so I got into real estate. And after I got into real estate, like most real estate agents, I struggled for probably the first 5 years to find clarity, to find production, to figure out what am I doing and how do I make this thing work? Guys, we're going to give you the clues and secrets here in just a little bit. So stay tuned with us. In 2010, I had my why show up to this earth, and that was my firstborn. That was my daughter. And at that age, I realized that I had to grow up and figure this thing out. I was now responsible for more people than just myself and my wife. And so at that time, we found a system to work on. We found a guide or a coach. And then we started to run systems and really start to produce at a high level. I peaked out in 2016. I was one of the top agents in the state of Indiana at the young age of 30. I remember those days pretty clearly. And started at that point to realize a couple things, that we had figured out how to take our business from welfare essentially to millionaire in the real estate world. And we began coaching and training people from that point on how to do this. And that's kind of where we sit today. We sit in Northern Indiana. We have a team, we have a coaching company, we have a transaction management company, all these companies to help support you and your production, or us. And so today, once again, what we're going to do, we're going to be breaking down the individual side producer, and then we're going to be breaking down the team side in hopes to impact everybody here. So if you are just an individual, when we get into the teams, I would mark it up as a learning lesson. Okay? Maybe a path in front of you. One day you might be a team leader. One day you might be on a team. And don't think just because you do a large production or you've been around for a long time, you can't be on a team. Our top agent on our team last year sold over 100 homes. And our longest agent in the real estate, we have 2 that have over 30 years experience. So it doesn't matter where you're at. Just take the information, take the wisdom, take our failures, and see where you can help move the needle. So we want to start with the individual. And on the individual side, we were tasked with trying to figure out production. That's our goal today for you, is to how to increase production. And as me and Nate laid out the material today, we realized that we've been working on this for a long time now. And so we're going to bring you what we've been working on. And really the production side, to have the highest production, we believe that the self has to be good. You have to work on a lot of aspects. So Nate, you want to start with the first aspect of production?
Yeah, so to start, whether we're looking at both the individual or as a team, we all have to understand that human behavior dictates business behavior. Human behavior dictates business behavior. So if yourself isn't right, you don't have a clear vision of where it is that you want to go as an individual, your business will never be right. And so when we look at everything, we always start with goals in mind. Okay. And so we dissect it in 5 areas. We look at our spiritual life. We look at our family life. we look at our personal life, we look at our financials, and then we look at our business. And so these 5 categories are what we want to write goals in. And we need to be clear in each of these areas.
Love it. Love it. So how do we do that, Nate? How do we do that? And what does that have to do with our production?
Yeah, so it's simple, clear, right? We write within our on our team, what we do is we take it in a very simple, very pragmatic approach. What's the number one thing you want to accomplish in each area, right? And then, okay, well, what are the top 3 things? And then we're going to narrow that down in the top 1. And then of those 5 areas of 5 spheres that we just talked about, what's the number one goal that's going to have the greatest impact on all other 5 areas? And this is because of this clarity, you're going to be able to produce that much more.
Actually, here's a great thanks for teeing it up for me, because here's what that looks like. In 2019, my number one goal, Nate, do you remember what my number one goal was in 2019?
Climb that mountain right behind you.
Climb this mountain right here. Now, everyone's going to say, what does that have to do with production? What is climbing this mountain and summiting this in 2019? What would that even have to do with production? And let me tell you why that deals with production. Is to summit this mountain, Nate, what is the main thing that I had to do to get to the top of this? If you were to guess.
Survive.
Oh, actually, can't wait till my story tomorrow. You're going to hear a completely different story about survival, which is great. But yes, we had to survive. Now, what did I have to do to survive?
You had to train.
I had to train, guys, because I didn't want to go up to the top of this mountain and then not be able to get back down. That would kill my number one goal, which is what 1 was stay alive and 2 was to summit. So to train now, when do I train, Nate?
4 a.m.
4 a.m. every morning. We train from 4 to 5. And the reason why we train in the morning is because it fills my body with the right energy. You know, it's really hard for us to train in the evenings when we got families we're dealing with, when we got high levels of business that takes place from normal business hours and then family after that. So it's the one time that I can have for myself is in the morning. So if I'm going to train, okay, and I'm going to do that, Nate, we weren't discussing that we were going to do this, but this is fun. What else do I have to do? If I'm going to train, what else do I have to do?
You got to go to bed early.
I got to go to bed early. Okay. Which then cuts out a lot of my bad habits, guys. All the things you put in your mind and your mouth after 8 o'clock are normally not the best things for you, just to give you a heads up. That's module 3 we'll get to here in a second. So, okay, so if I'm going to train and I'm going to go to bed, then here's what else I'm going to do. I'm going to watch what I eat, okay? Because I'm not going to go do all these things and then put potato chips in my mouth all day. Okay? So what I'm doing right now is I'm really fueling my body for success. Now, when we lead generate all day and I have high levels of energy, what do you think happens to my production, Nate?
Increases.
Goes up to the top, guys. So it's something as simple and as this goal of climbing this mountain. When we look at goals, climbing this mountain increased my productivity because it put my mind right, it put my body right, it got my habits in place. And so as we go through the last 11 pieces here, and when Nate says goals, don't think, well, what does goals have to do with my productivity? No, they're all built in because personal behavior dictates business behavior. And this was my personal behavior that then led me to become one of the top agents in the state, is because of all of this energy behind me. And I didn't start working out, guys, in 2019. So, Nate, what's module 2?
Module 2, database. We need to make sure that our database or CRM is tight and is geared toward nothing but your core relationships. So individually and as a team, as we'll dive into, we work by referral. We work a by referral, by relationship only system. Okay. And so we need to make sure that our database is tight as it relates to that system.
Database. It gives you guys, nothing's worse than to figure out, okay, I need some business. I need to increase my productivity, and then having no clue on how to do it or where to do it. Your database gives you a systematic approach. Okay. Well, I'm sorry. It doesn't give you a systematic approach. Your database gives you a place to go mine every day for your gold. That's what it does. It gives you a place to mine. We're going to be coming here very shortly. We'll talk about the approach and what that looks like. So make sure you have a database. If you want high productivity, build your own well to get your water out of, or your mine to get your gold out of every day. Build it yourself. So our business philosophy is to teach a man how to fish, not to give him a fish. Your database will be a place where you can go get your own fish every day. So the next place where we increase productivity, I always call this the dirty topic, is your habits. Now, I referenced it back some habits when we talked about climbing this beast here, Mount Hood. But if you want to really ramp up your production, you got to look at your habits. And I don't know where I'm allowed to take this right now, but we're gonna go there. Is, you know, it's not too bad. Don't worry, guys. But I realized about 10 years ago that if I came into work hungover, okay, like most of us do, let's be real. I'm a real estate agent too. Let's be real here. So if I came into work hungover, at best, depending on how good my hangover was, at best, I was going to manage my day. I would never get ahead. I was operating at 50%. I'm just trying to get done. The fires that are coming at me, I'm just trying to not have them burn me or anybody else. And I asked myself, if I show up to work hungover and I work at 50%, a couple days a week, whatever it is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you pick your pleasure and you do that. And then you scale that through the course of your career, 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Where's your business? And then the other side of that is if you didn't, and you came into business sharp, you went to bed, you woke up, you exercised, you ate the right things, you put the right things in your mind, you've journaled, you've read, you did everything you need to do. Okay. What type of production do you think you could have then? And then scale that over the course of your career. What you're going to find is astronomically different numbers, different lifestyles. And then you just have to ask yourself, is this habit worth the joy that my life could be? And that answer should be no. So there's our habits. You want to increase your production? Get better habits. Take one out, one bad one out, put one good one in. We'll change everything. Nate, what's number 4 here?
Lead generation. So as an individual, we want to make sure that we are lead generating. Again, we work a by referral, by relationship system. So we go to people that we know, like, and trust, and that know, like, and trust us. And so this is all it is. So it's relationships and networking. We just connect. Hey, who do you know that's looking to buy or sell a house? Hey, if anyone that you know is looking to buy or sell a house, would you refer me? And you're asking these questions to the people, to your mom, to your brother, to your best friend, to your wife, to your husband, right? You're asking these people, the people that you know, like, and trust, and who know, like, and trust you, you're asking these questions. Very simple questions, can be hard to ask. So again, we have to get over ourself. Human behavior dictates business behavior. So I have to get over myself and I have to ask these questions. And so what we do as an individual, I want to write personal notes. I want to follow up with people. All right. Someone referred me someone. And so I need to call them and follow up with them. This needs to be part of my routine, part of my habits, part of my daily habits. I need to proactively reach out and stay in touch with people. I need to ask them just to catch up. Hey, how are you? Simple question. How are you? You know, is there anything that I can do to help you? Do you need a contractor? Do you need a vendor? Do you need something to help you with a project you have going around the house? You know, it could be, you know, maybe you need a babysitter, you know, for your kids and they're in a situation where they're in a pinch. Your job is just to be a connector, right? We're all realtors. We're all connectors of people. This is what we need to do. So we're asking them if they need help. And the other one, people love to help you. And so ask for it. Ask for help. Hey, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to grow my business. If you know of anyone looking to buy or sell, please keep me in mind. Please tell me, can you send me their contact information? So it's real simple. We're proactively reaching out to the people that we already know, just picking up the phone and saying, hello, how are you? We're catching up with them. 2, we're asking them for help. And then 3, we're asking them if they need help. 2, and then 3, we're asking them for help to help us grow our own individual business.
Love it. Love it. I'll simplify into give, ask, receive.
That's it.
Give, ask, receive.
That's it.
So lead generation, give, ask, receive. The 5th subject of today is financial systems. And so productivity and financial systems, somebody might say, Austin, isn't that the back end of what happens when I produce? Well, let me tell you this. When I was broke, my mindset on production wasn't as strong or as good as it was when I didn't need the money anymore. Okay. So when we get our money right, guys, when we get our financials right, our production can skyrocket because we don't have the anchors that the financials bring. Every day we're walking around with anchors. I always say it's like we got a boat and we got the throttle all the way down. When somebody comes to me and says, Austin, I need help. I'm like, okay, I got the boat and my throttle's all the way down, but I'm not moving anywhere. And I say, well, turn around and look. And then you turn around and you got 50 anchors out back and they're all crossed up. And I tell them, well, let's do this financially to start with. Let's cut one anchor and let's focus on cutting one and then cutting another one. And next thing you know, it's 12 months later. It's not tomorrow, guys. It's 6 to 12 months later. Their boat's starting to move. Holy crap, my throttle's still down and I'm starting to move. Now, they're not going as fast in the boat as their throttle is down. That might sound really familiar with a bunch of you. Okay. I call that burned out, actually. So their throttle's down. They're starting to move a little bit. And then the mind's right. The production's starting to be there. They're a more positive person. And then they keep cutting those anchors. And eventually the boat has no more anchors. And now their throttle's still down and they're just gliding. That's what happens when we work on our financial systems. Our productivity is going to go up because our mindset's going to be stronger. We have less worries and concerns about what's holding us back or what's taking us down or the 25% credit card interest. Okay. So productivity lies directly with you and your financials. You work on those, you get those in control. Next thing you know, I promise you, your business is going to start to be able to sail. So Nate, what's our 6th piece here today?
Buyers.
Ooh, buyers. About time we talked about something they want to talk
about. We're talking about selling, right? How do we meet with buyers? Yeah. So dealing with buyers, actually having a buyer's consultation, right? Instead of, hey, I want to look at this house on 123 South Street. Could you meet me over there at 5 o'clock? I know it's 4:30 right now, but can you meet me over there at 5 o'clock? No. We want to establish expectations with the people that we're dealing with, right? You have to ask yourself, do you own your leads or do your leads own you?
Stop real quick. Ask yourself that question, guys. Nate, say that again.
Do you own your leads or do your leads own you?
You just hurt a lot of people's feelings, Nate.
Dive into that, Austin.
So when you work by referral, we're a little different. We've created all of our business by referral, which some people nowadays is saying it's the old way to do it. Okay. If it's the old way, we still believe it's the best way. And the reason why we say it's the best way is because our conversion rates are a lot higher than any other lead source. Okay. We get to work with people that know us, like us, and trust us. And we have a predictable business model with a low expense rate to it or variable. Because when we work our referrals or our leads, what we're really just doing is providing a service with our time and our brain and or staying in touch with people. We don't have the monthly $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, $50,000, $100,000 burn on internet leads like a lot of people have. And because of that, our stress level's down. Remember that anchor? It's cut. We don't have it. And now our stress level's down and we can really focus on who do we want to serve. And I'm not saying there's only one way to do business, as DeWitt Jones taught us years ago at EXPCon, one of the best speakers I've ever heard, DeWitt Jones. There's more than one right answer. We just happen to chose this right answer, and we've worked our butts off at perfecting it and be able to provide the value not only to us, but to be able to show other people what we know and how it can work for them. So buyer's presentation, by far one of the most important things you can do in your business. It will seem completely backwards to you to start with, especially if you're less than 5 years in the business. You'll think it's completely backwards. But if you want to get a hold of your business and you want to increase your business, have a buyer's consultation. Nate, do you remember my record for referrals I got at one buyer consultation? Do you ever hear that number?
No, I don't.
I recorded it. 3 referrals I received at one buyer's presentation. 3 referrals. How long does it take for you to get one referral? Okay. We got it in one presentation. Okay. Bingo. What's the next module is time management. I've been wanting to change it to time optimization. I like that word.
It's more fitting.
Okay. Well, maybe we do that. Maybe we change it to time optimization. But the next piece, when we look at ramping up our business, what I found in real estate, I saw this one slide at a conference once, and it said, what all real estate agents do. And it was a box with 1,000 different things in it. It's like, put the signs out, to do the marketing, make the brochure, write the offer. And there was 1,000 different things. And where my head goes with time optimization is, well, can I put those in order from most productive to least productive, to what pays the most to what pays the least? And, it's sad. One of our business partners once came to me and he said, Austin, I don't know how I could do any more with the time I have. And I'm like, well, how many deals did you close last year? He goes, 30 something. And I'm like, well, we got a problem, because you should be doing far more than that if you're working 60 hours a week. And I just asked him a simple question. You remember the question I asked him, Nate?
Yeah.
What's the question?
I'm paraphrasing. Do you act as if you're going on vacation and leaving tomorrow?
Are you working every day as if it's the day before you leave on vacation? I asked him this. We were in Chicago at a conference, and he looks at me like I was weird. And right after that, I made this comment to him. I said, I think you have too much time, and that's why you're not selling enough. And he's like, what is wrong with you? He goes, I'm telling you I don't have any time, and you're telling me I have too much time, and that's why I'm not selling as much as I want. And then what I realized was that Parkinson's law was taking effect. And Parkinson's law is what we've all learned in middle school, high school, and college, which says the time you give something to, it will take. The time you allow something, it will take the entire time, which is remind yourself of the school paper that you had to do in 3 months. You started on month 2.5. That's Parkinson's law. And so with our business partner, what I explained to him, I said, I think you have too much time. And because of that, it's taking it all and you're not getting done what you need to do. So what we worked with him on is this time optimization piece, which said, hey, if I can get you to do the higher level activities and not work 60 hours, but maybe work 40 and concentrate more on these higher level activities, and maybe we sub out the bottom stuff to a vendor or somebody else, I think your productivity would increase. And guess what happened, guys? Bingo. So that's time optimization. You want to increase your productivity, you got to look at the action steps and what you're actually doing within the time you have. Doctors aren't checking you in at the doctor's office. And if they are, they're not making what they could be making. There's reasons why they have secretary, nurses, and then the doctors. It's so that they're optimizing their time. So what's our 8th piece here, Nate?
Sellers, listing consultation. So again, it goes back to the buyers, right? How are you setting up the right expectations with the people that you're working with, right? And we just dive into, break down and compartmentalize. Okay, how do we want to prepare for a listing? Actually, how do we conduct the listing meeting? And then what does our follow-up look like after we sit down and chat with them?
Love it. One of the best things I've ever done in my business for listings. And this is, I had a client once ask me, he was an old professional guy. He said, Austin, how do you retain and close 98% of every listing that you had this year? That was my number back then. And this was when houses weren't selling, guys. This was when houses were selling in 180 days, not 1.8 hours. Okay, completely different world. And I sat back and I thought about that. I'm like, how do I close 98% of all deals? And the best system I had was I called my sellers every Friday while they were listed. Every Friday I called them. So when you want to get into your sellers processes, how do we raise production with them? We increase consistency with touches, with giving back them our resources and really investing in them. So our next topic that we're going to get to, guys, and we're rolling really fast here, but we're going to give you 12 of our best pieces here on how to raise your productivity as an individual agent. The next piece here is your calendar. And what we do is we help people set up their calendar for an entire year. I know that seems crazy. So does the buyer's consultation. But guys, when you do this, it's really freeing. Okay. And it also allows you to see when are you on and when are you off. We're working on something right now, and I think we got a really good hold of it. Is just we call it the run rest cycle. You know, being around real estate for over 30 years, what we all are hamsters on a wheel, and we never get off. And you're running. I come up to you as the hamster on a wheel, and I'm like, how you doing? And you're like, I can't do anymore. And I'm looking at you. I'm like, you're running at 1 mile an hour. And you're like, oh man, I've been going for years. And I'm like, maybe you should take a break. And when you come back on, you can go at like 10 miles an hour. And for the last now, I would say 6 years of my career, I've been working on the run rest cycle. And in our calendar, we have this laid out, and we're able to show real estate agents what is the optimal way to run compared to rest. And if you take off, people ask me, Nate, I always love this question, Austin, how do you sell so many houses in a year? You know what my answer is?
Take 12 weeks off.
I take a vacation once a month. And they look at me like I'm stupid. They're like, oh, that's not the answer I'm looking for. And I'm like, well, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you add another month to your year. I don't know. I take one off. You put one on, then come back and tell me how that's working for you. Because if you want to sell more, guys, you got to live a better life. Okay. You want production. Today's ideas about production. Well, let me tell you, it's not all about production. It's about living a great life and then selling a crap ton of homes. That's what you really need to know. That's what you really need to do. You can sell more houses. Great. Congratulations. You'll be miserable. Live the lifestyle and sell the houses. And then when someone comes to you, you can say, hey, you need to get your personal self right. And then your business will explode. Not explode your business and then go through your divorce and your depression and go give, the divorce lawyer a tenth of all your money and then your ex the other 50%. And now you're broke, you're miserable, and you're not a great example to anybody. Welcome to 60% of our profession. Okay, so let's get the personal self right and we can get the business right. And when you do that, you can be the example to others. That's what we should be in our life. So I'll stop on that. I could go on that for a year. Nate, what's our 10th point here today?
Communication styles. How does
that help me sell more?
Yeah, so in order to effectively communicate to someone, you can better impact them. And when you can better impact them, you can better lead them through a transaction.
Oh, bingo. That's probably the most important one out of all of them.
Yeah, so what we do is we sit there. We need to know ourselves first, right, before we can start analyzing and assessing other people. So we really dissect DISC profile assessment, DISC. That's one we lean on heavily because it talks about people's natural behavioral style, right? How they behave in stressful situations. One of the top 3 most stressful situations for a human being is 1, death, 2, switching jobs, and 3, moving. right? These are the top 3 most stressful situations for an individual. So you might want to understand how it is that they behave, right? And how they're wired in order to communicate to them effectively, right? You're gonna have some people who is more of a D, right? A dominant personality, an I who's really more of your influencing personality. That's me. Or an S, like very steady, cool, calm, collected personality. That's also me. Or a C, very compliant and conscientious about everything that happens. That's Austin. And so people tend to fall in 1 or 2 of those categories, not all 4, or not necessarily all 4 that are dominant, but we want to understand how people are wired. And then we can communicate to them more effectively, which impacts all of the other areas that we were talking about. And so you'll start to notice, if you haven't already, when we look at individual production, every single one of these 12 areas impact one another, right? But communication, your communication skills, I would say is the most important piece in our profession, right? We are professional communicators. We're not throwing 90-mile-an-hour fastballs or taking snaps like Tom Brady, right? We are professional communicators. And so we need to be able to impact people the most effective way to get the results that we want to get.
Love it. Well, I didn't ask if I could do this, but I did say give, ask, receive. So it always starts with giving. And when we talk about communication styles, we actually have a guy named Dr. Abelson, world leading doctor in communication styles, let's say. And we have him coming in and speaking just for anybody and everybody. So if that's something you'd be interested in, reach out to us. We'll allow you to come in and listen to Dr. A. He's just going to be doing some amazing stuff. So understand yourself, understand other people. You'll be a better human being in this world. So module 11, we're getting into education. Higher productivity starts with self-discovery, as we were saying, but it also starts with really getting to know, how does your brain work? What needs to go in there to help you move the lever? I always said first thing is not doing something. It's becoming aware of what happens and why it happens, and then acknowledging and taking ownership to say, yes, I do that. And the path of education, I will tell you this, the difference between where I was 10 years ago and today is solely based off of my education. Solely. That is it. And the reason why I was where I was for my first 26 years of my life was based off of my education solely. So you want to ramp up your production. You want to do more, get better on the inside. You'll be able to handle things. You'll be able to see things better. So let's move to our last one, Nate. What is our point 12 here on the individual way to increase your productivity?
Commission. Raise your commission.
That seems scary, Nate, and especially in this market. Why would I take the risk and raise my commissions?
I don't know.
So there's a reason why this is our 12th module. Okay, this isn't the first thing we talk about. This is the 12th point we're talking about, and it's the reason why is when you step up. You know, Tony Robbins once said, compensation drives behavior subconsciously sometimes. Okay. And what that means is what you get paid will determine how well you do something. And so if you want to do more, I believe we need to get paid more. And what happens when you do that, and when I started doing this, my level of desirability went up. And the biggest thing here that went up when I knew I was getting paid more than my competition who was discounting what they were doing, what I knew what happened at that point was my confidence went up. And when somebody has confidence, it's hard to stop them. If I could give every one of you guys something today, what I'd give you is confidence. I wouldn't give you another transaction. I'd give you the confidence to know that you could get it yourself. So there's our 12 points today. and how you as an individual could raise your production. Now let's move to 6 points here as we're going to be wrapping this up today. Let's move to 6 points on how to increase your production as a team now. Whole nother level. Nate, point one.
All right. So number one is culture and expectations. All right. Number one, as a team, we have to understand, what are we on a mission to do? What's our mission statement? If you don't have a mission statement as a team, write a mission statement. And then what is the team expected to do? What is every single individual expected to do while on the team? So culture and expectations is point one. So our mission at the Cheviron Group, our mission is to help and show realtors how to live a better life. Hence the 12 topics we just went through. And so everyone on the team has a certain layer of expectations that they're obligated to follow. And to speak through them quickly, we have what we call the 4 C's. Culture, right? If you don't create the culture, it creates itself. So we have to have culture within the culture bucket. Okay, everyone's expected to create the culture, and we have they're obligated to follow the team rule, which is give and receive feedback. The other one, other C, communication. Over communicate to the team. C, commitment. They need to work our systems. Everyone needs to make progress through each of those 12 areas, and they're committed to do so. That's what they sign up for. And the last one's capping. Everyone on the team is expected to get results. But if you do all of the other pieces, you follow the team rule, you over communicate to the team, and you work our systems, you're going to cap.
Bingo. So Nate, what's really, when you say work our systems, break our systems down into just 2 pieces? Go back high level overview to, this is going to get a little.
Two big things that we focus on are 2 vital pieces. 1, lead generation, 2, education. That's it. So our time, you ever hear the saying, your schedule is your lifeline, right? So our schedule as a team only reflects those 2 pieces, lead generation and education.
Boom.
That's it.
That's it. I always say, I'm just going to say it. I don't want to work with broke real estate agents, and I don't want to work with dumb real estate agents. Now, that might sound bad, but if you do, then you should ask yourself the question, why? And then how do I make a system to get them out of that? I don't want to say they're not broke when they come into it. Okay, let me be straight here. Some of us are broke when we come into the system, but how does the system then increase their productivity so they're not broke at the end of the day? Because at the end of the day, we don't want to work with broke people. We want all of us to be wealthy beyond our dreams and our desires. So when we talk
about actually the people on our team, right? The next topic is recruiting and onboarding. All right. And so we want to work with people who are committed. We want to work with people who value education and who value making money, right? Because with more money gives you more options and allows you to do more good, right? Broke people tend to not be the best givers because they have nothing to give. And so we want to teach people and give them the tools to make as much money as possible because, and so when we recruit, we won't necessarily get into the recruiting processes and things like that. We dive deeper into that elsewhere. But when it comes to who we put on our team, I call them A players. We only put A players on our team. And these are people who are humble, hungry, and smart. Okay. All character traits, humble, hungry, and smart. And again, it derives from mindset. Are you humble? Do you come and approach things with a beginner's mindset? Do you lay down your ego, lay down your pride? Do you really just come at it and just really seek to learn, seek to understand, not to be understood? That's humility. Hungry, right? Do you have a growth mindset? Are you motivated? Are you passionate? Are you determined to take on the world, right? And you speak with that and you show examples of that in the past. And so we're evaluating this. And are you smart, right? Not necessarily a competence piece that is a component, but character over competence. I look at smart impacts. Do you have a positive mindset, right? A positive mental attitude, right? As Napoleon Hill said years ago, right? Is this what you're doing? Is this how you're showing up? And so when I'm talking to people, I look at those 3 areas, and it'll show up with people when you start looking for it. All right. Are they an A player? Are they humble? Are they hungry? And are they smart? And this is what we want to do. And then when we onboard people onto our team, the number one goal of onboarding, without getting into the minutia, the number one goal for onboarding is connection. The number one goal is connection. Are you connecting emotionally, mentally? Are they connecting into your systems well? Do they feel like they're empowered to take on and do the things that they're expected to do on your team? And so we have to make sure that that connection's there. And why that's important for productivity is because people are twice as likely, 2.3 times as likely, actually. Gallup, if you've heard of Gallup, it's one of the biggest researching companies out there as it relates to people and within the workplace. 2.3 times more likely to produce at a higher level if their onboarding experience is great. And the number one goal for onboarding is connection. And so we need to get people up quickly. We need to make sure that they feel connected to the operation and to the team.
Bingo. Third piece with team productivity is your back-end systems and operations. And this thing can get really deep, but the best way to say it is, as a team, we went from doing 50 transactions as a team to doing 500-ish transactions as a team. Well, the one way you're going to be able to do that and do more is if you really concentrate on your back-end systems and you get your schedule right. Okay. You get your data, where all your data stored correctly. All these pieces, if you don't concentrate on your back-end systems and just systems in general for your company, your productivity is going to be squashed, because instead of worrying about raising the bar and doing more, you're going to be cleaning up the mess behind you at all times. So our next point here, point 4 in the team's productivity, is actually just sales in general. And so how we sell here at the Cheviron Group, it's really simple. It's 8 to 10, Monday through Thursday, 3 weeks a month. And what we do is, this is our lead gen time. You've heard us hint on this and talk about this previously today, but this is our lead gen time in which all of us agents are going out there and we're giving to our database. And in return, we may then ask if they know of anybody we can help, and then we may receive a referral. Give, ask, receive. And so the way we train people here to raise your production is for you to go get it with people you know, that you like, and that trust you. And when you do that, the results are beautiful. Nate, what's our 5th point here today?
5th point is coaching and training. Okay, so as you'll see, we realized early on what a team really needs is culture, systems, and coaching. Okay, the missing piece is the coaching and training. And so the system that Austin has created over the years, and as many years in real estate, those 12 topics that we talked about early on, we teach and coach all of our entire team of that. We actually spun that off and created an entire coaching and training company because more people wanted that material. And so this is what we do. We stack and we stack what it is that we do as a team in our schedule, and then we just reinforce it. So our team is more or less a place where we practice what we preach, right, through those 12 topics. And then the coaching is just accountability. It's really what it is. It's peer-to-peer accountability. So everyone on the team culturally is obligated to follow the team rule, right, which is to give and receive feedback. So if everyone peer-to-peer is giving and receiving feedback to support the mission, which is to help and show realtors how to live a better life, we are now optimal. So the core part of our whole entire team is relationships and continuous improvement. And so if we're coaching and training to continuously improve ourselves and our relationships, it makes the whole system better and greater and keeps going. And so that's the piece, coaching and training.
Love it. So guys, that's going to wrap us up today. We wanted to share with you 12 points on the individual production and 5 points here on the team production side to really boost you through these shifting times for the next 5 months, let's say, 2022. So if you like what you heard today, feel free to reach out to us on Workplace. If you're with EXP, if you're not, just type us in Google. It's Cheviron with an I. I always say God gave us an I in our name, so we'd have to work for our money. So find us. We'd be happy to talk with you and show you what we do. Once again, as you've heard Nate say multiple times, we're on a mission to help and show you real estate agents how to live a better life. And that's what we're trying to do ourselves too. So from Nate and from Austin Cheviron, thank you guys. Thank you for your investment of your 45 minutes today, and look forward to hearing you guys.
Thank you, Nate. Thank you, Austin. That was amazing. That was amazing. It was really great and practical stuff that we can all use today. But guys, as we finish up, we are not done yet. We have I'm very excited about what we've got coming up next. So I'm going to bring on a guest with me, and we are going to give you a little bit of preview of what is coming up the next month. And you guys, it's going to be fire. So let's get it going right now. It is my honor to bring up the powerful, the amazing, my friend, the EXP University Director of Training is Candice Garcia.
Hello, Alyssa. I am so excited to be here with you to talk about Level Up for September. Folks, if you have been joining us for the month of August, we've been bringing you the best training that EXP has to offer as part of our EXP Level Up series. Alyssa and I are here for the next 15 minutes to give you a preview of what you can expect from Level Up coming up in September. And Alyssa, I have to tell you, one of the things, I was talking to Kirtus this morning, he's not able to be here for our wrap-up session, but one of the things we were saying this morning that we are so excited about, that we feel so blessed and honored, is all of the agents who have given their time to pour into this content, into the rest of our agent population for Level Up. We have had over 50 agents so far who have committed to coming in, to giving their content, and to giving back to our agents. And we have hundreds of you watching this stream every week, coming into the world, partaking in our new agent stand-ups, our Friday leadership. It's only going to get better for the month of September. So I'm so excited to see what we've got coming up, Alyssa.
It is going to be amazing. And to that point, I think that's what's really unique about EXP is this culture of giving and elevating each other. It is something it gives me goosebumps. I haven't seen this level of giving to each other. And it's just so amazing. So I love that about EXP, but I want to talk about next month's theme. Okay. We are going to come with you for Level Up Your Production. And it's going to look like a lot of different things because there's a lot of different ways that you can level up depending on where you are in your business. Maybe you're a brand new agent. We've got something for you. I'll talk about that later. Or you're an experienced agent. You're thinking about growing your team. No matter where you're at, there's always the ability to level up. So we're going to come at you week one, where we're going to be talking leadership and teams. Week two, we're going to be talking mindset for the future, right? Week three, we're talking negotiation. Now, it's a shifting market. So what a lot of you might not have been using these negotiation skills, right?
Yes.
These might be some new muscles we've got to try to build and flex. And right. So then
Absolutely.
Week four, we have some really exciting panels. So I'm just super excited about all of this. It's going to be amazing for you to level up no matter where you are in your business.
Absolutely. So folks, if you want to see the full lineup of what we got coming up in September, don't forget to go to expcloud.com/calendar where you can see the full lineup. But what we want to preview today is a couple of the special sessions that Alyssa and I are most excited about, the sessions that you cannot miss. So let's start with next week. I want everyone to remember that next Monday is Labor Day. So we will be off for Labor Day, Alyssa. No training happening here at all in EXP world, but catch us live on Wednesday, September 7th. As Alyssa said, we're going to be really focusing on teams and leveling up your business with teams. So next Wednesday, catch Gusty Gulas. The amazing Gusty is going to be talking about building and leading your team through change, followed right after that by Rod Obi, who's going to be talking level up your team for the future. So if you're interested in teams, if you're currently running a team, these are going to be the sessions for you. Another thing we're super excited about coming up in September, Alyssa, is a lot of how-to how-tos. So a lot of practical, hands-on training for our agents. Come in for September 12th on Mastery Monday, where we're going to be featuring Sherry Swift. She's going to be continuing her series on transitioning your skills into this new market. And Alyssa and I are big Sherry Swift fans. So if you haven't already participated in one of Sherry's sessions, it isn't just about transitioning your skills. It's really about changing your mindset. Sherry is one of the best teachers of how to change and transition into that next level of your life and in your business. So don't forget to come in for that session. And right after Sherry Swift, again, another one of our favorites, catch Tara Stone. Now, talk about how to. Tara Stone's going to come in and she's going to talk to you about adopting a futuristic mindset. How great is that title? Within that session, we're going to have some really great workshop-y PDF documents for you to take away. I don't want to give away too much, but make sure you're coming into that session because it's really going to be a practical how-to guide to really get into that futuristic mindset. And if you're looking to level up, if you're looking to have sustainability in this market as you go into this next cycle, make sure that you're taking advantage of these classes that can really help you get into the correct mindset to get there and stay there. And then, Alyssa, we've got coming up in week 3, we've got Kevin Kaufman coming up with Mission to Mindset, Michael Collier with 3 must-haves for success. So a lot of practical training that are going to tell you exactly what to do. In September, we're also going to be featuring the amazing Julie Nelson talking about negotiation. One of our all-time favorite EXP agents icon, Elizabeth Riley, is going to be coming on to bless our stages. And then, as you said, Alyssa, the very last week of the month, we're going to be featuring some amazing panels with all of your favorite EXP Realty instructors, some that you've seen before, some brand new ones that we're going to be bringing in to talk all about everything that we've been covering in the month and to really end the month with a great end of month roundup talking about all your favorite subjects. So come in and get connected to some of this training. Again, you can catch the full list on expcloud.com/calendar. Another thing I don't want to miss out on telling you about is our light work sessions every Friday. If you're looking for a podcast that's really going to help you get your energy set up for the weekend as you're showing houses and as you're getting into the business, don't miss our Fire Fridays featuring Curtis Dixon every morning, 7:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Next Friday, we're going to be featuring the amazing Cecilia Mice of Success Magazine. So make sure to come in. She's a big hero for Alyssa and I. So don't forget to come in and catch that. And we're also going to be featuring our Friday Agent Leadership Sessions every Friday. Look forward to a new format that we're going to be launching this Friday. Come in to hear new production numbers, market updates, and things that you've never seen before in these Friday sessions. So very excited to get started on those. And last but not least, Alyssa, tell us more about these amazing new agent stand-ups that you've been putting on every week for us.
Wow. Okay. Well, I have like 3 comments to make back to all of that, like that amazing lineup. And actually, I'm going to do that first before I tell everybody about the stand-up, because I'm absolutely excited about that. You're going to hear about it. But number 1, all of this how-to content, I have been, of course, in Level Up. I've been here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on YouTube. And legitimately, it's stuff that I am putting into my business every day. So I'm watching as we've got all these amazing presenters on, and I'm making notes, and then I'm going out to show a house, or I'm going to write a contract, or I'm talking with someone about how to be a better communicator, and all of these things I'm implementing every single day into my business. So it's powerful. And that's what that how-to content for me in my business where I am right now, that how-to content is amazing, but you've got to internalize it. You've got to put it into play. So we're giving you tools right now, and you out there have got to go take the action and go use those tools, use the skills that you just learned here. So after that, number 2 was, that's an amazing lineup. I all of those names, I'm sitting there, you might have seen me like smirk a little bit because I'm like, oh, that's my hero, like Sherry Swift and Julie, I mean, all of those people, it's amazing. And so number 3 is that all throughout the month, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I host the agent stand-up. So what that is, it's an accountability session, and it is a place where I come to ask you to speak your commitment out loud. You can think about it like a daily sales huddle. And what we like to do there is I want you to speak your commitment out loud, and I ask you to put them in the chat. And I want you to hold yourself accountable for that. And what I really love about this too is we're creating this community, and we're aiming to elevate each other, elevate the industry. So someone might put something in the chat saying, well, I'm trying to do this for my business, but I may be struggling with this. And then another agent is going to come in and say, hey, have you thought about this? So giving that fresh perspective. So it's amazing what we're doing here. And it's just, I'm so excited to be part of it. And so I invite you to join me Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, all throughout September, and get accountable.
Oh, awesome, Alyssa. Thank you so much. I love those sessions that you're putting on. I love to hear your story, your journey as a new agent as well. And I love the 5 minutes of fire that you bring every week with our top agents, SMEs who come in and just bring 3 really amazing action items for all of our new agents to get started with. So tell them, Alyssa, how can they find us?
Oh, my goodness, there's a few different ways that you could find us. So number one, we're always going to be in the EXP metaverse, but you might be watching here on YouTube. So I've got some calls to action for you. What I want you to do is smash that like button, and there's going to be that notification bell. And I want to make sure that you get that going, because we're here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We know you're busy, so you might need that notification pop up and remind you it's time to level up.
Absolutely. And folks, you can catch the live stream anytime on our YouTube channel. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, make sure to follow. And coming up, we are also going to be taking all of our August content. You're going to see it in September. We're going to post it in small, broken down, bite-sized pieces so that you can come and get the content that you're looking for. So continue to like and follow us, because we've got even more great things coming up. We're going to enhance that that August content so that you can still watch that as you're catching all of the new stuff that we've got in September. So listen, we've only got a couple more minutes. As I said, I'm so excited about what we've got coming up. I know that we're going to be changing our leadership sessions, changing the way that this content is posted on YouTube. What are you most excited about coming up for Level Up in September?
I mean, after that whole lineup, I'm not even sure that I could pick. But honestly, I have to go back and say that how-to content, that's where I'm living at, because I'm already all throughout August. I've got a whole notebook full of just stuff that I'm writing down, and this stuff that I can implement every day. It's changing my business as we speak. So I mean, that I got to go back to that how-to content. But then again, I do host that agent stand-up, so that might be, maybe one of my favorite things to do, I have to say.
Awesome. Well, I love that. This is one of the most agent-centric brokerages that I've ever seen, that I've ever been a part of, Alyssa. And I love that so much of this training, that all of this training is coming to our agents for free by fellow licensed EXP agents. Folks, as we're heading into this turn in the market, you do not have to reinvent the wheel. If you are nervous about this market shift, do not be. Come join us and level up, because we're going to be bringing you the subject matter experts, the people who've walked this out before, who have those secrets and formulas for success, and they're going to be giving them to you. All you have to do is come in, take part, like Alyssa said, internalize it, do the work, and you can level up right alongside of us. Don't forget to follow us. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to catch us live in EXP World as well. And make sure to follow expcloud.com/calendar for the full lineup. It's been so fun doing this end of month wrap up with you, Alyssa. I hope we get to do it again. I am so excited for everything coming up in September. Thank you so much for you coming in every week and pouring into our new agents. You are a staff here, but you're also an agent as well. And thank you so much for your contributions to all of our fellow EXP agents who've come in and who've served here in Level Up. Thank you. Please come back in. Our agents have loved having you, and we'll catch you in September. Thanks, Alyssa.
Thanks, guys.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, EXP family and real estate industry friends. Welcome to EXP Realty's Level Up live stream. My name is Kirtus Dixon, Senior Vice President of Agent Development. I am super fired up to be with you all today. Thank you for joining in. We've got an amazing Wealth Wednesday in store for you today. That's right. We're live.
So the first thing we need is a definite chief aim or desired outcome. Those are the fancy words. I could also call them goals. We got to have goals, guys. We got to have a purpose. We got to strive to something greater than where we're at today.
So now ask yourself, be honest with yourself. What are one or two behaviors that support your values? So for me, I shared my value is growth. And my behaviors that back that up are being willing to do things that genuinely make me feel uncomfortable. The behavior of being totally scared, totally not sure that I even know what I'm doing, and doing it anyway.
But when you're intentional, people are intentional back. And that does come back around. We've had agents that we talked to 3 years ago that we've just stayed up with and intentional, then come on board with us. It really is showing your heart to other people and letting them see your heart is a big deal.
We are in a relationship-based business. Focus on the relationship and not the transaction, and you are going to have a great career.
So if you're comparing yourself, don't forget time. You cannot compare yourself to someone who's been with EXP for 7 years. Compare yourself to someone who joined the company at the same time that you did, or reach out to the person that you're chasing so sad and ask them, hey, where were your numbers when you were 7 months with the company? Where were your numbers when you were 2 years with the company? That time you can compare yourself because you had the same amount of time to achieve the same thing that they have. And if you did or you didn't, now you can compare it.
Everybody has to start somewhere, but Google is great, social media is great, and honestly, if you guys just start creating this content and get in front of people and put a little bit of muscle and ad spend behind it and partnering with local businesses, you will become hyper local. That's how you become a digital mayor.
And I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that for real estate agents that want to grow, EXP is the best place. We're not the best place for every real estate agent, but I do truly know in my heart of hearts, and from researching every model out there that I could ever get my hands on, eXp Realty is the place to go if you want to grow and prosper and learn.